My name is Chandler Watts. I am 25 years old. I'm from Warner Robins, Georgia, and today is April the 26th, 2019. All of this is good to know for the audience because now you know a little more about me. Maybe you can relate to me, maybe you can't. But if you ever had to write anything about me, at least you would know a little bit about what to associate me with as far as my date and time and place in history. So keeping that kind of concept in mind, I read a lot of literature throughout the course of this semester, non-Western lit, that I didn't exactly relate to mostly, but that's okay, as it's important to read. The story I'm talking about is Bessie Head's Heaven is Not Closed. It's a story, the protagonist, her name is Galen the Bege, probably not saying that right, but she's a South African Christian woman. She is struggling. Her character struggle is, she wants to get married, and she wants to get married under her new found Christian faith, their customs. Her husband wants to get married under the people's customs and the tribal customs. So the story shows this struggle. It takes place, the Europeans come and they impose on the people's land. You can tell that there's just something up with this missionary. And on page 11 in my book, I'll just summarize it, but Galen the Bege is kind of thrown off by the missionary. He's so mad at her, he just throws her out of the church because she's not going to get married under his custom. And she's so surprised and just thrown off by that. And she said her exact words were she saw something, a representative of both God and something evil in this man. So it just goes to show you that, something was wrong here. And even though, the Christian faith could be right for Galen the Bege, our character, the representation of it just wasn't. And that was she was kind of speaking to the Europeans and what it meant for them and to come and what they brought, and that just eerie feeling that maybe goes along with having them there. So there was a piece of information that we got within our classroom online information study section. Critic Rob Nixon points out that even though women writers were outnumbered by men, the structure of apartheid, wherein the migratory labor laws resulted in the majority of women being regulated to rural areas. Women writers who focused on female communities in their narratives were treated as inferior groups, and their very identities as writers placed on the line. So I wanted to talk about this too because, Bessie is writing in a time where she's a woman and it's going to be harder for her. She catches a lot of criticism. What we learn is that she catches a lot of criticism from her colleagues. And, Bessie writing during this time is focused more, not so much on apartheid like everybody else is. And she's trying to focus more so on women, black women mostly, in their rights. To just because it needed to be written. I learned that Bessie Head in her stories, even though they were wrongfully treated as inferior, just the fact that she was in this time and that she wasn't really fighting the apartheid fight as much as she was fighting for the women, this led to just people coming against her. But what she wrote about was just as important, and she still displayed many important characteristics through her work, her writing, by her settings, her characters, and just the situations that she talked about.